London is apparently now a crime to be openly Jewish in the middle of a public space because it might stir up bad feelings amongst leftist anti-Semites. I feel like this was taken out of context, but let's play it.
No. I've watched this. This is crazy. Let me just say, you're about to hear somebody say, you're very openly Jewish, and that's a problem. Is there any context in which it's like, oh, that's fine? I'll play it. No, we'll argue once they hear it. Then you can tell me how dumb I am.
You are quite openly Jewish. This is a pro-Palestinian march.
You're very openly Jewish. You're at a pro-Palestinian march.
I'm not accusing you of anything, but I'm worried about the reaction to you.
I'm not accusing you of anything, but I am worried about the reaction.
And then it cuts.
Yeah, it cuts, fair. You will be escorted out of here now.
You'll be escorted out of this area so you can go about your business.
Okay. I certainly have what I need to take a stance, because even if this guy says, I am here to agitate, it doesn't change my opinion. Not a little bit.
Okay. You want to play this out, or we got the first 10 seconds?
Tell me.
Okay.
If there's more that makes your argument, keep playing it.
This is what's happening, right? Just so people who maybe you're at home, you're watching. So there's a Jewish man on the side of the street. There's a pro-Palestinian march happening. The cop goes over to you, says, you're quite openly Jewish. I'm not accusing you of anything. To me, the underlying implication of that is, I don't want people to then agitate you. I'm doing this for your safety. I'm doing this as a protection.
Yeah.
The equivalent I can use is if there was the tiki churches in Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. As they were walking down, there were another group of people, and then the cops came, hey, you guys are agitating them. Let's break that up. Yep. Of course, somebody died and all these other stuff. People don't talk about that. So I'm not upset that a police officer is saying, hey, this is a right march. This is a left march, and you're on the right. Since this is a leftist and right thing now, let me move you over to the side. I just want to make sure you're good. So him trying to kind of preemptively disarm the situation isn't an attack from my perspective, but I am assuming good intent. The cop is saying this because he wants to help this guy, and he's not arrested. They don't get arrested in this footage. That's my thing. You're saying it doesn't matter. I'm allowed to stand wherever I want.
That is correct.
Copy.
If this guy wants to go and agitate, and he goes there and is like, I disagree with everything you guys stand for. This is horrible. You guys hate Jews. This is terrible. I wish that you weren't even allowed to march. And then that guy has to worry about his safety. Who's the bad guy?
The agitator, right?
Hard pass. What is happening?
Hold on. You said if there's a peaceful protest going on and this guy's an agitator.
Yes. And then he has to worry for his safety. Who's the bad guy? Please don't ignore the fact that I said, and he now has to worry about his safety. The agitator has to worry about his safety? Correct.
Okay. Hypothetically, because I feel like this is a little bit more like up in the air, right? Okay, let's make this super on the nose, right?
It already is. He's a Jew at a pro-Palestinian march. We do not have to make this about black and white. Yeah. You've got a Jew who is at a pro-Palestinian march.
Yes.
You're telling me that because he is Jewish, they should escort him away because he has to worry about his safety. What I'm saying is that is ridiculous. Let me give you another one. I should have grabbed this footage. It makes me so mad when I see something that I don't realize is going to stick to my ribs. There was a guy who burned a Quran, lit that shit on fire, and a guy with a knife came after him and was slashing. He doesn't stab him as far as I know. But you see him. I saw it with my own eyes. He is slashing at that motherfucker with a knife. He clearly does not care if he hits him or not. Now, he's not stabbing because I think there was some restraint there, but he's like slashing in front of him as hard as he can, trying to make contact. He knocks the guy down. He kicks the guy while he's on the ground multiple times. Another guy kicks him on the ground. Who's the villain?
The guy with the knife?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm saying it is very offensive to burn a Quran.
Okay.
Very offensive. You're the villain if you go after the guy with a knife. It is offensive for some if you burn an American flag. You're the bad guy if you go after the person burning the flag with a knife. If you punch a guy for burning a flag, you're the bad guy. And so I'm saying being Jewish at a pro-Palestinian rally does not make you the bad guy. If this guy has to fear for his safety,
I don't. But who's
the people who are going to attack him are the bad guy. So I'm saying this cop is like, yo, bro, I'm worried about your safety. We're going to have to move you over here. It's like, hold on. Don't let anybody attack me. And if he's like, okay, listen, we could just get overwhelmed. There's not enough of us. These guys are getting agitated. Like, hey, man, I'm ready and willing to take you over there. And if this guy says, nope, I want to stay here. I have every right to stay here. And the guy says, okay, but we can't protect you. Cool. Totally get it. The cop made it clear. He wants to do his best. But hey, I'll call for backup, but they may not get here in time. And if he's just trying to keep him safe, word. But I want to be abundantly clear. This guy shouldn't have to worry about his safety by being in a pro-Palestinian march. Ever, under any circumstance. Even if he's there yelling like a lunatic. Unless that guy starts violence, he should not have to worry about his safety. Now, if he becomes violent, he instantly have to worry about his safety.
But is he... Okay, so we always talk about freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequence. So if he's calling a bunch of people slurs and somebody hits him in the mouth, it's the person who hit him. The person who punched him
the bad guy.
Is the bad guy. Okay,
of course.
So I could be at a protest. I can agitate. I can say anything, but as long as I'm not physically violent with anybody, I should be protected.
Correct. That's the whole idea of peaceful protest. But you should be able to protest and counter protest. Now there are regulations about when and where you can do it. You have to get your right permits and all that. But assume that somebody has done that. All I'm trying to say is people should not be afraid that they're going to be attacked for being Jewish in public under any circumstance. We have no reason to believe that this guy is agitating. I'm pushing it that far so people can get real morally clear on this. But he isn't doing that. So I'm just saying, bro, we are going down a weird slope when people are like, listen, I can't control them. They might get crazy. Dude, this is exactly the same as telling a woman you can't wear a skirt that short because someone might want to rape you. It's like, hold the fucking phone. I should be able to walk around nude. And not only should I be able to count on people coming up and putting a coat on me to make sure that I'm safe and okay, I certainly shouldn't have to be worried about getting raped. And if somebody brings up, let's say it's my wife, because it's very weird, I keep saying me. My wife gets raped. And in the court document, someone was like, well, her skirt was pretty short. Get the fuck out. That's stupid. That's a level of absurdity. We're accepting something in society that is so moronic. A pro-Palestinian person should not have to fear for their safety in a Jewish march. I don't understand. Everybody should be going, okay, look, the cop's trying to protect him, but if this guy doesn't want to move, everybody should understand the bad guy or anybody that would make this guy feel unsafe. That's wild. Just like, hey, you're at a Charlie Kirk rally and there's one guy there that's wearing a shirt that's like, I'm glad Charlie Kirk died. That person should not be in fear for their life under any circumstance. That's insane.
I feel like we want internet rules to apply in real life.
No. We want a civil society.
No,
we want to be able to disagree with people and it not turn violent.
Yeah, so then debate them.
Love it.
Talk to them.
Great.
And the cop coming here and saying, hey, I'm worried. To me, this is good policing to me, is that he's worried about his safety. Now, if he
forces him to leave.
If he's forcing him to leave, no. And there's no threat that's being posed.
Completely on the same page.
Then no. But my thing is the cop presenting it to him, I don't think that's crazy that the cop is like, hey, emotions are kind of high right now. Are you sure you're yeah, I appreciate that part. Okay. That's where I was confused. I was like, wait, the cop can't even say is the cop wrong for assuming that would get left?
If the cop is like, listen, I'm not going to be able to get back up here in time, all is well. But what I'm saying is we are casually accepting that the opening line is, you are obviously openly Jewish, and this is a pro-Palestinian march. That's already not okay.
Okay.
So not that he shouldn't say the words, that he has to say the words. If you become violent, you are the problem. You don't have to tell me why the person became violent unless the other person is violent. Now, if somebody comes in and throws a punch, yep, you're going to get your ass beat. Fair. If you come in and say words, nope. If you come in and are obviously Jewish. So again, this comes down to people are not reading enough books. When the pogroms happen, when people turn on Jews, it breaks bad, it gets violent, a whole bunch of people die, and people give up their humanity. And it happens over and over and over in history. And there's no thing you can tell me about what the Jews are doing and controlling the money supply for me to go, oh yeah, cool. Then go kill a bunch of them. That is so wild. People have forfeited their humanity at that point.
Okay.
What part do you think I'm missing?
I don't think you're missing a part. I think the cop wanted to help this person. This person refused. Him forcing the person to move over there is wrong.
Perfect.
And I understand that. That's what we're talking about. I was confused because I was like, a cop saying, hey, it became openly Jewish, and that being the quote, it's a crime to be openly Jewish. Is like, nah, that's not what he's not. It's not a crime that he's openly Jewish. The cop is trying to move him to alleviate tensions and things like that.
But you do understand, cartoonists have been murdered for drawing a picture of Muhammad. Mm-hmm. The guy got attacked with a knife for burning the Quran. Mm-hmm. And so I'm saying this is on that scale. Again, if the cop is just saying, hey, man, listen, you got to be careful. Cool.
And then I guess when you came back and said, I don't care if he's agitating it. And that's why I said internet rules don't apply to real life, because if somebody's agitating Lisa, you wouldn't just sit there and be like, well, he has a right to agitate. You would want to move him. You would want to say something. It would become some type of disagreement. And then those disagreements hugely escalate. And then it turns bad.
Yeah, but if
you know what I mean?
They have not brought violence upon my wife, I'm not going to attack them.
Copy.
So
Copy.
Try to get them to leave, try to argue them down, walk away. There are many, many solutions that I would reach to, because the thing that I want to talk about is, what are we going to tolerate in a civil society? What are we going to tolerate in a civil society? When just being you puts you at risk, nope, hard pass. We've long passed what I think is acceptable in civil society.
Mariska Dark, Drew, if the cop said you are openly black, this is a Klan rally, you wouldn't feel some kind of way about that being systemic racism?
How would that make you feel?
If I was at a Klan rally, the last thing I would be worried about is a cop talking to me. Because I'm at a Klan rally. And why the fuck am I at a Klan rally in 2025?
Let's say you walk.
Like, there's so many things that happened wrong in my life for me to get to the Klan rally.
I don't want to drag you into this and make it about race. Anyway,
No, but hypothetically speaking, if that was me on the side of the street and a guy came up to me and was like, hey, this is a Klan rally, you should take a couple of steps back, I would at least, how he presented it, if the person came up to me and says, hey, you're openly black, this is a Klan rally, maybe you should move over here, I would appreciate at least him coming and talking to me about that. Now, if he grabbed me up, if he assists me, if the cop took off his hood and say, hey, you got to move back, much
he's
different
being very kind. Just as this guy is.
He's being very kind.
He is letting you know, we are going to make you move. You've already said you don't like that.
Okay.
So my thing is, what I'm trying to get at is, if somebody said, hey, there's this big Klan rally and a black guy was asked to move, like, what do we think about this? I'd be like, Klan rally or not, the Klan has absolutely no right to become violent. Black people should not be afraid in the slightest to stand watching a Klan rally go by. And if the Klan made a move to threaten or certainly physically assault, it's just a hard pass. So I don't care if people want to belong to hateful groups, whatever, that's their business. But I mind very much if they make public streets a place where somebody is actually in danger. I'm not expecting you not to feel uncomfortable. Of course you would. But I am expecting you to have every sense of I'm safe, because we live in a civil society and we don't do this.
So Chad is largely in agreement with you, but there's one person who has a different take. Tom, you are delusional if you think that this would not become a volatile situation. You are hyper-protective of Jewish protesters, yet the pro-Palestinian protest met with police deportation and more.
Again, I did say, if the roles were reversed and this was a Jewish march and a pro-Palestinian person came up, that person has every right to feel completely safe. Now, if you are occupying, regardless of what kind of protester you are, if you're occupying space that you have no right to occupy, I would expect them to forcibly remove you. Period. You don't even have to tell me who the protester is. Yes, if they're not supposed to be there, remove them. If they are damaging public property or private property, remove them. So, yeah, listen, I have been exceedingly consistent that I don't even trust myself. So I don't think that I walk through life. Actually, I do think I walk through life thinking I see things clearly, but I know I can't trust that. So despite how right I feel, I want to make sure that other people are able to say the things that they want to say. And I think that there are certain things that we should want desperately out of civil society, and safety for all that haven't committed a crime is like at the top of the list.